Hi, Sister Moms. While we hope that you enjoy listening to the Four Moms podcast and find it helpful, it is not intended to replace a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. If you have questions about finding a mental health provider, please email us at fourmoms827@gmail.com and we will send you a list of resources.
We are Four Moms, a platform intended to uplift and empower those who listen so that they find their voice, seek healing, and recover their strength. It is our hope that in tuning into Four Moms, you find a community full of laughter, thought-provoking conversation, and you see a little bit of yourself in each one of us because we are four daughters, four women, and four moms here for you.
Hi, Sister Moms. Welcome. Come on in and sit down with us. Welcome to the first episode of the Four Moms podcast. We're going to start by introducing ourselves and telling you a little bit about us. I am Dr. Lamb. I'm 34 years old, and I have one very energetic boy who is almost 3. Yeah. And a fun fact about me is that as a child, I really enjoyed theater. So I was in a lot of plays and dances and still secretly do some of that. Who's up next?
Hi, my name is Herb Shea. I am 36 years old. I'm a mother of one. Her name is Luna Simone. And a fun fact for me is that I come from a family of 10, so it's a lot of personalities and a lot of things going on every time we get together.
I can imagine, right?
And my name is Almisa. I am 25 years old. I have one little princess named Abigail. And a fun fact about me is I know sign language.
Very cool.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kalima. I'm 34 years old. I have 2 boys. 1986. No, I have 2 boys. Caleb, who's 5, soon to be 6, and then I have Cadence, who is 3, going on 30. A fun fact about myself is that I'm a singer, musician, all that good stuff. So music is my life. That's us.
So now we're going to get into our tea time where we discuss some trending topics, what's going on in the world, and Earth is going to help us with our first topic.
So if you've been under a rock, which I hope you haven't been, dealing with COVID, this is the presidential debate, and it was with Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. So I feel if you were a Democrat, you believe Kamala won. If you're a Republican, you believe that Mike Pence won. But I really feel that who won was all minority groups because Kamala is Asian American, she's Afro American, and she's a woman. Wow. So the debate was better than the first one. Everyone saw the first one. And if you also saw the debate, you saw that they had a plexiglass in between them. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting how things, was addressed during that debate. I don't know if anyone else had any opinions.
Yeah. So for me, I loved it. I love seeing a woman, a mother, right? Have that type of platform, and she used it gracefully and well. I think Mike Pence did a great job too. I think it was a more mature debate than the other one. But one thing that stood out is that she was, not seeing a few memes around this, she was giving us some Claire Huxtable vibes.
Oh, yes.
Like, straight up Claire Huxtable vibes, just like a regular mom. Like, I understood what they were saying. It was clear, and it was like probably the first debate I've ever actually watched, like, through in my life. So.
Yeah, there's something about Kamala that felt really familiar. I think she was easy to relate to for a lot of folks. She felt like a mom. She felt like an auntie.
Right.
She held her own, and her ability to kind of manage. I felt like there were some points where Mike Pence was a little bit, he was having a little bit of a tantrum. He was jumping in and trying to speak over her. And she, in the calmest way, was like, no, I'm speaking. Right. And then a smile. It was like
everyone knows that I'm speaking.
Yes,
definitely.
It was like that smile that mothers give their children in public when they can't yank them.
That's right. That's right.
That's eye conversation. Yes. Piggybacking off of what Earth said, I think that Kamala did a really good job at representing African American women in particular. It's really important that we have the ability to speak our minds, speak our truth, and be in a position where we can make great improvements for the community. And I just really hope that moving forward, everyone sees the work that she's trying to accomplish.
Yes.
I love that.
One of the things that did come up, though. I think folks felt like Kamala did a good job, but they also, some folks felt a little bit saddened by the idea that maybe she wasn't at full throttle. That, if you've seen Kamala Harris when she was campaigning to be a president herself, she was on 10.
Yes.
She was a little bit, she had a little bit of a stronger presence at those times. So folks were talking about her trying to navigate, one, being female, and two, being a female of color. How aggressive can she be? How much can she, set a boundary and say, I'm speaking, and really kind of present in the way that she wanted to. I don't know if you all had thoughts about that. Was she a little too mild and calm?
I kind of felt she had to do her talking points. She had to talk about what Joe Biden was going to do, and then because of that, she couldn't really hit it home. I felt the best part when she talked about the panic of when everyone was getting toilet paper, because I believe all
Definitely.
it's true. Toilet paper, Lysol wipes, Lysol spray,
yeah.
all that stuff. It was a panic for a couple of days. I remember I was still at work, and when my daughter's not in school yet, so when other people were saying like school's about to close, I said, oh, this is serious. Schools are closing. What are these kids going to do? I said they're going to be eating all day.
Eating snacks.
I need to get to the grocery store before we have no food. So yeah, it was definitely a panic situation. So I felt she could really hit home on that whole aspect when we all found out that we were about to be locked down for.
I think she also had to kind of like navigate like the stereotype of like the angry Black woman and still present as like a woman in power who has something to say in this situation. And it's so hard to kind of figure out where you stand. And when she was running for president, she had a different voice, right? And now she's vice president, but she still has a voice, and she's trying to just figure out what to do with that voice now and still be respectful, be that role model, be that go-to person for how do we handle ourselves in a very important political debate. Yeah.
And as a mom, you're always put in front, and now she kind of has to be back towards a man that wants to be president. So yeah, I would definitely see that as a struggle for her.
Yeah. I think there's a certain amount of hypervigilance you have to have as a person of color when you're thinking about your perception. It may not, so people have different ways of doing this, like when they talk to their kids about how to be in the world. But I remember one of the things my mom said was, you have to remember, you have 2 strikes against you. You're Black and you're female, so you can't afford to make any mistakes.
Right.
And, on the one hand, it's like, thanks for, pushing me, Mom. But on the other hand, thanks for making me anxious and, really super aware of what I say and how people, really look at me. So I imagine, of course, we don't know for sure, but I imagine some of this stuff could have been going on for her, that I don't want to be perceived, like you said, as that angry Black woman, but I don't want to be seen as a person who doesn't have a voice and thoughts and opinions that are valid and worth listening to.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are 2 reasons why I vote. So everyone vote.
Countdown is coming. So not to switch topics too much, but to kind of stay with the times, right now is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. So, all the breast cancer survivors, we're here for you.
We salute you.
Yeah, that's major. My mom is a cancer survivor, not breast cancer, but still cancer in general. So just highlighting like all women that have been impacted in any way, around this. So we wanted to bring up Ananda Lewis, who is, she used to be, I believe, a host back in the day on, Teen Summit on BET. So she had just released a story basically saying that she's in stage 3 of breast cancer. So really upsetting, but she also not only disclosed her status, but she was just bringing awareness, right? Because so many women in general, but women of color especially, are impacted by breast cancer. So definitely just putting awareness out there to get tested. If you can, stay up with those mammograms, and to know your family history, right? Like some of us don't ask enough questions. Like I'm the type of person, I'm asking about my grandmama, my great grandmama. Like I'm asking as many invasive questions as I can, because I really want to know my history. And as we know, like women of color always don't get the same treatment or the same type of support in the medical field. So we have to be advocates for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So.
A big part of awareness is learning how to be a self-advocate, ask questions, do your breast exams, bring up any concerns that you may have when you are not feeling you're 100% best, and be okay with fighting for yourself. Be okay with not taking no for an answer, getting a second opinion, switching doctors, find Black doctors, someone that's there to listen for you and to get your concerns heard so that you get the best medical treatment possible. You want to make sure that your priority is yourself. And though it may cost you some relationships with doctors, I've been seeing this doctor for 10 years who will never steer me wrong. You just have to do what's best for yourself. And if you don't feel that you're getting the care that you need, it's okay to move on. It's okay to get another doctor.
Yeah, and I think as a mom, like for me, my focus on myself medically changed because I'm always in mom mode. I'm always thinking about my kids, right? I don't take care of self enough. So I think that that's where the line kind of gets grayed a lot of times if we're not, having that self-care time or bringing awareness to our body. Because, we're rushing to take a shower, right? For a mom, it's like taking a shower is like, I did it, so 2 minutes. Right, exactly. That's all I got. Or they in there with you, staring at you, right? Looking for a snack. So,
or it's the only place you can hide.
Yes. Hide, cry, scream, whatever you need to do that day. So, yeah.
So we asked some of our viewers to send in questions. What do you want to know about us? So the first question was, what is something you wish someone would have told you before you became a mom? So just to let us get started, I'm going to start with Dr. Liam, then Kalima, Earth, and then now Lisa.
Okay. So I wish someone would have told me that parenthood is a moving target. Like, I think I had in my mind, I'm a preparer, so I like to research things and get ready and have the answer and like, okay, mission done, like mission complete. But it's a moving target. Every stage has, something new to learn. So just when you think you've learned enough and you kind of got this whole thing down pat, it's time to adjust and learn and adapt to that new phase. So that's something that's that I've learned, and when I've accepted it, it's helped me in parenting and knowing that it's okay not to have all the answers because things are constantly kind of changing.
Right. Yeah. For me, definitely relational changes, like how your relationships, whether it's making new friends or losing friends, or friends that don't have children, friends that do, friends that are married with children, friends that are divorced with children, single moms, all of that like matters. Even like your relationship with your mother, if she's around, or your grandmother who raised you, can be impacted. And change, right? Because they're like, wait, you my child. I raised you. How you gonna tell me how to raise a baby? But you may have special things that you want for your child, or things that we're just like, Mom, you did that, thank you, but that was jacked up. I don't want to do that for my kids. So I'm gonna do something.
I don't think that really turned out okay.
Exactly.
How many years of therapy?
Yeah. Seriously. That's why I'm here. But between that and just every single type of relationship that you could have, I know Earth is going to speak on this as well, but from being married, dating, whatever stage you have your child in, you have to relearn you, right? So I think that's something I would have appreciated more information on, more experiences.
So like Kalima said, regarding relationships when you have children. So I'm a visionary, so I always envision what my life is going to be like when I had a kid, when I got married, all these things. So my vision was when I had a baby that my mom was going to come home with me and she was going to help me out. Right. It's going to be these 3 people taking care of a little baby. And that did not happen. One, like I said, I'm a family of 10. So my mom at this point, she's seen 15 grandchildren. She's like, you got it, girl.
You're figuring it out, right?
That was 1. 2, work relationships. You tend to start hanging around people that do have kids more. They understand when maybe you have to work late, you have to figure out who's going to watch your kid. And then your friends that don't have kids, that like to go out and do happy hour. So you can't do happy hour every Friday because you have to go home and take care of your child.
That's right.
And even with your husband, unfortunately, it happens sometimes your husband becomes the second most important person in your life. And sometimes the one person you want to kill that day in your life. But one woman always told me that that your husband should be actually number 1, because your husband or significant other, or whoever you have in your life, is the person that's always going to be there. Your children will grow up
And leave.
So you need to make sure your relationship with your husband is the best it can be during the time that you are 9 months of being pregnant, and even after, to make sure you guys check in on yourself. So what other relationships have changed for me? I think that's it. Friendships are always good to have friends with that have kids too, so you guys can bond and learn from each other. But I would say the hardest part is mostly your relationship with your significant other or husband.
I wish someone would have told me that it's okay to make mistakes raising a child. There's so many things I wish I did or didn't do or did differently, and I like kind of overachiever here, and I'm like, did I do enough? Like, she's 4 now. Did I read to her enough? Did I sing to her? Did I take her to church enough? Did I teach her how to pray? But even if I didn't do all of those things, she's still alive, and she's still learning, and she's still growing, and you're okay, and no one has a handbook on how to raise a child. You know, you have these books, what to expect when you're expecting.
Right.
What do you do when they're actually here? So I just wish someone would have told me that mistakes is a part of the learning process, and you're going to keep making mistakes. And the most important thing is taking the time back to say sorry when you're wrong, or to apologize to them, to teach them that it's okay that mommy made a mistake, and it's okay that you made a mistake, and we're going to learn and grow together. And the most important thing, now let's start over.
And forgive yourself.
Forgive myself, definitely. I definitely wish someone would have told me that, but I'm telling you guys now, so don't worry.
And I think mom guilt is a real thing.
It is, definitely.
If your baby fall and hurt their leg, like, you take it on so much. You know, something as simple as that is bound to happen. So
so the next question that we got from our viewers was, how did you know you were ready to be a mom? I guess I'll start and we'll go around. I didn't know I was ready to be a mom. I knew that I needed something to give me purpose, something for me to fight for. And I was newly married when I got pregnant, and it just kind of happened. I just think that she came when she came, and it was the right time for me, and it happened. So I didn't know that I was really ready to be a mom, but I kind of learned and grew up and made the changes to be a mom.
So I kind of sat back and thought, what else am I doing? I'm kidding. I have a few hours in my calendar. It's over now. But no, I think like where we were, we had been married for about a year and a half, and it just, in our conversations, it was the natural next step or progression. And, we thought about like, I love you so much now. I kind of want to see that love in physical form. So that was our kind of thinking around it.
I love that, our love in physical form.
Beautiful. That's a quote.
Yes. For our book. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Right?
Write that
So for me, my grandmother always told me to enjoy your marriage before you have children. Right? My grandmother and grandfather were married for 10 years, which was unheard of before they started having children, and then they had 9. So
wow.
They did.
I can appreciate it.
Right. So they traveled, they did like everything that you could do, and then they had children. So for me, I just always kept it in my mind. So my situation was a little different because my husband and I inherited foster children at the time. So we had 3 teenage foster children before we even had our own children. So that was crazy. Yes.
Wow.
But
That's going to be a topic on another day.
Oh, yeah. I got some stories. So we had them for a year and a half, and they're still my babies, right? So we had them for a year and a half. I'm sorry, we were married, I think, for a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years at that point. And we had them for over a year. So then I got pregnant like a month after they got there. So we just kind of just dove into parenting, right? Just every age group possible. And we had to just figure it out, So I think that my grandmother's advice, just waiting a little bit, before you started to have your own family. So I think I was like 2.5 years into marriage before we had our first.
Still thinking about
My bad.
that was a
That was a lot. Yeah.
boundaries. So I kind of plan my life out as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what's that phrase? You plan, God laughs at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
So, I mean, I graduated college, I was living at home, I got my own place. In the midst of getting my own place, I met my husband at the time. Well, my husband, not at the time.
Yeah.
My husband.
Yeah.
And then we dated for a while, and at that point, I did not want to date anymore. So I was like, either you're gonna be my last boyfriend or you're not gonna be.
That's right.
So, you know, we got engaged, we got married, and then once we got our house, I was like, all right, I'm ready to have a baby.
Yeah.
He was not ready. He felt that we needed to wait. So I waited as long as I could.
Okay.
And then I was like, no, I had a dream. Like, I'm ready to be a mom. My purpose in life is to be a mom. I take care of kids in my professional life, and I was just ready. So I talked to him one day, and he wasn't okay with it, but I basically said, I'm not gonna do anything to stop it. Like,
You get a little hands right.
I knew you did at this point.
So it was just like in my blood, and it happened, and I was very happy about it, and I did everything in my power to learn, and I think I talked to you multiple times throughout the day, and it was just something that I felt that I just needed to be. Like, I don't care about my job, I don't care about, like, I want to be a mom. It might be coming from like having a mother that had 10 kids that she did so good.
That's
So.
definitely
That's awesome.
Well, now you know a little bit more about us. We do have a platform. You can check us out on Instagram or Facebook, submit your questions and concerns, and we'll be happy to address them. We're going to enter our Mommy Minute. So join us, Sister Moms, for our Mommy Minute by Miss Earth. Oh, that was
You
for
found
me.
Lisa.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Improv.
They're human.
So we're human and we're always so hard on ourselves. So over the next week, we just want you to be able to take a moment to pay attention to the things that went well throughout your week. Pay attention to the things that are going well throughout your journey of motherhood. Get a gratitude journal, write them down. Think about the impact that you're making on the world by raising your little humans. And we'd love for you to share it with us. We do thank you for joining us on our very first podcast. Salute to all the sister moms. Be sure to take care of yourself and make sure you tune in for our next chat.
Bye.
See you next time.